Hey, what up? It's Brad with Home Love Construction, and today we're gonna do some foundations. In this video, I'm going to cover the basics of concrete foundations. But before we get into that, I have a massive request for you. If you would please consider liking our Facebook page, I would really appreciate it. The more likes that we get on this page, the more reach our videos get. And then the more people see it, the more people ask us for bids, the more customers we get. And then you know what we do with that money that we get from customers? We make more videos. So if you like these videos, like the page, it helps us to help you, but enjoy the video. Okay, so right now, all we're worried about is cutting out the existing concrete to make room for our new footers. Now, why are we doing that? There's already concrete on the ground, right? Not exactly. Some of this slab here has a footer, and what a footer is it's a wider section of concrete that goes under any bearing wall, and what that does is it takes the weight that's going down on that wall and it spreads it out over a larger surface area, and the size of the footer is determined by the soil. And basically it makes it so that that load doesn't sink down into the earth and it limits your settling. A footer is meant to arrest that as much as possible, and engineers determine the size of it based on the soil composition in the area and also the amount of load that's predicted to be down on those supporting walls. Basically, all we really are doing for today and the next couple days is cutting out the existing concrete in a 16 by 16 fashion, and then we're forming up to pour in new concrete with a bunch of rebar and stuff like that. And over the next couple days, we will literally just be prepping for the concrete, and then the concrete will go in just a couple hours. It's really actually pretty incredible how it's always the prep work that takes the most time, and therefore it's also the prep work that is most important in remodeling. Getting ready for your concrete, making sure that all of your forms are square, they're well staked, they're not gonna move when you get those literally thousands of pounds of concrete poured in. Making sure that your forms aren't gonna wiggle is super important. Making sure that your rebar is set. And I'm excited. This thing's been in the works for a while, and I'm really, really pumped to be able to show each step of the process as we go through it. We just finished pouring all the concrete for our footers and our foundations. And there's some stuff sticking up, so I'll explain what's going on here. As you'll see, out of our footer, we have these pieces of rebar sticking up. These have a little J-bend at the bottom of them, and they're tied to the two pieces of rebar that run continuously around the entire footer. What these are gonna do is these are gonna stick up into the block wall, and our block mason is actually, once he builds it all the way up, he's gonna drop an 8-foot piece of rebar all the way down. He's gonna tie them together with wire right here. And then at the end, he's actually gonna fill those cells with mortar, and it's gonna basically create one strong unit so that it's either 2 or 3 feet, I'd have to look at the plans, but we have basically a solid vertical pillar in the actual continuous block wall. So that really adds a lot of whatever the strength is that makes something not topple, that's giving us our strength this way. Over in the corner, we have 3 of them. So the corners are very important, because if this wall that's running this way, this long like 40-foot wall, were to get a wind load and it were to basically be moving this way. The other big thing is the wing walls going back to the existing structure are gonna make it sound, right? So in our corners, that corner connection is very important. So we actually do it in every cell in the corner. We're even doing over on our doorway, we're doing double filled cells on either side of our doorway. You can see the rebar sticking up here for that. This is gonna be a little entrance door, and it'll come out onto this little concrete pad. As far as the footers themselves, why do we do an extra deep piece of concrete on the outside with rebar in it? It's because in Florida, the soil is very loose, okay? When you build a structure and it, vibrations from trucks driving down the road, random stuff rattles it, the soil continues to settle more and more because it's loose, because there's a lot of like organic material that's always decomposing and settling more and more. The entire structure is going to settle continuously throughout time. We want to minimize that. We want to get the load spread out as far as possible so that that shrinkage of the soil essentially is minimized. So by spreading out our load over, this is a 16 by 16 footer, we're really minimizing the amount that it's gonna settle. We want to minimize that. It's gonna happen. We're just trying to keep it to a minimum. A couple other just like little things that are technology improvements that you probably don't know about as a homeowner. The actual type of cement so what we're using is a fiber mesh cement. So it actually has small pieces of fiber in the cement mix that are adding to the structure on top of the rebar, sticking up the block, the continuous rebar throughout. So really engineering standards have come up so high that this is really built like a brick you-know-what house, as some people would like to call it. I feel really good about this. The pour went really well. It went super fast because we used a pump. Would highly recommend using a pump for your concrete pours. And we are basically ready to wait for it to set up. I'm gonna do some finishing. And then on Monday, so it's Wednesday right now, we'll give it 4 full days to cure. On Monday, we will start laying our block. Thank you so much for watching the vid. I really appreciate your attention. Now, again, a big ask. If you'd please consider liking this video and sharing it, I would really appreciate it. The more views that we get on these videos, the more people know about us, especially in our community. And it helps us to reach more customers, bring more leads in, do more jobs, and then we use that money to, again, make more videos for you. And I want them to be entertaining and cool, but ultimately I want to educate homeowners on what remodeling really should be, what the right way to do it is. So as we're getting more into that, I really appreciate your attention, and thank you for watching the vid. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.